Man, it's pretty cool. Back again in my happy place, Krachan. Actually, I'd say I've got a lot of happy places, but this is probably still top of the list. Weekend international gold trip to Kanchanaburi and paddleboarding down the River Kwai. That's becoming another happy place out there. In fact, the last time I was here in Krachan was with my students as well, my wonderful year 10s. Let's see what we can see this time. Heading up to first I'm going to head up past Kaeng and I'm going to head to where my friend Jamie said there's a silver broadbill's nest. So fingers crossed, we'll see that. And all fingers and toes and everything else crossed, we'll see a leopard. This is where the white-fronted scopsow was, just in there. White-fronted scopsows are vulnerable or endangered. I'd never seen one before. I'd only ever heard the amazing sort of old motorbike sound they make at night. I was so lucky to see and get photographs of this one, and my students were so lucky to be there as well and see this amazing owl. So the first stream crossing there was not a stream crossing at all, no water, and the second will be the same. So I'm heading up to the silver broadbill nest, but there was a leopard just up here yesterday. I just talked to one of the rangers, a couple of the rangers, and he showed me some nice footage of a leopard just on the side near the Chang Yep trail. So I'm gonna I'll probably stop there, just wait around. It was out right next to the road. So I'll happily swap a silver broadbill for a leopard. As well as the eternal possibility of a leopard, the 2-kilometre stretch between Stream Crossing 2 and what's known as the dam is an absolute haven for bird life and wildlife. This time there wasn't much, and I was kind of moving on, but the last time I'd been there, I'd seen so much, including this beautiful banded broadbill, this sultan tit, and with the help of my ranger friend Jackie, the first time I'd ever seen this buff-rumped woodpecker, and the first time I'd photographed a velvet-fronted nuthatch. Not a great shot, but I was able to get a better one the following week on Doyenton. The primates were out as well, the dusky langurs, and the students were able to see the magnificent gibbons. Not just a male, but a female with a young one. You can frequently hear and even see gibbons on this stretch of road, and they're always an absolute delight to see. Butterflies as well, now completely in season, were there, and with my students I saw this absolute beauty that I'd never seen before. They also got the chance to see one of my favourite bugs, a lantern bug, and we had this rare opportunity to see the flattest beetle in the world, violin beetle. I also saw a mongoose crossing the road, which was a new one for me. I soon gave up on the leopard, and I decided to head up to Stream Crossing 3, where I knew that some birds had been making a nest. Do you know what kind of bird has a nest like this? Yeah, this is a hornbill. It's a brown hornbill, Tikel's brown hornbill to be precise. It's a medium-sized hornbill which is in a near-threatened status. I'd seen them before in Krachan. I managed to get some shots and some shaky video, but I would be back the following day to see them again. Noticing the activity in the treetops, a pair of lar gibbons came over and decided to join in. We were enjoying watching them after the hornbills flew off. Then there was a sound in the bushes behind us. This was one of the best and most frightening and possibly most dangerous experiences I've ever had. Man, it's pretty cool. Mainly due to habitat loss, human-elephant conflicts have escalated in the past couple of decades. There have been 185 deaths from elephants in Thailand since 2018. Of course, this is largely due to encroachment or not paying enough attention to the elephants, but sometimes wild elephants like this, especially males, can turn and can be very aggressive, and at between 4 and 5.5 tons, when they do turn, there's not much you can do to get out of the way. Despite this being obviously a potentially fatal encounter, I could tell from this male elephant's mannerisms that he wasn't too worried. He'd already heard me and I'd spoken to him, and he was aware that I was there. I wasn't going to startle him. He also had plenty of space to move or escape or head in whichever direction he wanted. You'll also notice on the right that there's a big clump of bamboo which I could easily get behind if he did decide to charge. So still hear him behind there. I think he's coming back. Have to watch me back. That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. I grabbed the second camera because it had the 70-300 on, because I knew the 500 would be too big on the D500, but this 5600 isn't as good. The sensor's not as good, and the autofocus on this thing's not so great through the leaves and trees, but high ISO, but surely I'll have got at least one good shot and some decent footage. But it just goes to show, I've just come down, we were all standing here right at this spot, and we were watching the tree up there, photographing the brown hornbills at their nest, and then lo and behold, the elephant was just up there, the dry riverbed. Not bad for just being in here an hour or so. Can't complain about that. But the excitement wasn't over when I was in for an even closer encounter. Shit, here he comes. I'm at the car. I better get moving in a second. Here he comes. He's coming right up to where I'm sitting here. I've just got the 70-300 on here. Oh, damn it. He's about 20 metres away and heading straight towards me. I'm the only one here. Shit. I might have been a bit close for comfort there, trying to get those shots. That was silly and dangerous. he got to like 10 metres from me in the car. And so he strung up, as you saw on the shots. And then I leapt into the car and started it and zoomed down here. And here he comes, somewhere up the road, about 100 metres down now. That was possibly a bit on the that was on the dangerous side. That was silly. But he stopped and I called his name and he stopped and looked at me. I tried to wait till he'd come through till his face was this side of the branches so I could get a good shot. But that was close for comfort. Let's see what these shots look like. That's an experience and a half, that one. What a thrill. What a thrill. Wow. Sleep well tonight. That's where I scarpered from him. Got started the car just there. Came down here and he's crossed over the river, the road, and he's in there. Again, about 30 metres from me here. I don't want to go too close. The car's there with the engine running. He's here. Man, I'm still buzzing from that. Oh, jeez. 10 metres away there when I finished taking shots on the floor, and then he just kept walking straight towards me. I think by the time I got in the car, pressed start, he was right there behind the car, about 5 metres. Not charging, but coming straight towards the back of it. Whew. Sad thing is, I've got a horrible feeling at 70 to 300 because I'd just been using it for video when I saw him just back before that, in the further up, and when he was about 20 metres in, and I'd clicked it onto manual focus because the tracks and what's it called, the focus breathing thing, it just doesn't stay in focus very well. So I'd clicked it onto manual when I was videoing him in the bushes just before that, and I've got a horrible feeling I left it on manual focus there as I was snapping him coming towards me, which means that with any luck he'll have been in focus at some point. I've just had a look at the shots, but I can't tell on the back of the screen if it's because it's quite high ISO, because it's obviously the light was very low there. It's still light here, 5:30, nearly 6. But in the trees there it was low light. But just hope I've got one brilliant shot of him right in front of me there after I stopped the video recording on it. But that would be an amateur mistake, and one that I've done before with that lens, that 70-300. But wow, what an experience that was. That was an experience, I'll say it again. Oh man. Right, time to go back, sit down. Well, I've got to put the tent up yet. Get some food, chew the cud. And when I get back tomorrow, just hope that I've got one really good or very decent shot of that big male elephant. As he nearly read me my last rites. I think I'll be a bit more careful next time. But all good. Wow. Gotta love getting Krachan like. Of course, I feel so happy and lucky to have had that incredible experience with that male elephant. But sadly, my suspicions were correct about the lens. I only managed to get what I would call lackluster images. Nonetheless, they'll serve as a lasting reminder of that great experience, and also a reminder of how dangerous the jungle can be and how alert we have to be when we're there. And so after setting up tent, cooking some food, I settled down underneath a waning gibbous, wondering if I'd have any visitations that night. I thought back to the last time I was there with my friend Dan, and how we'd seen quite a lot of nighttime activity, and how for the first time I'd taken the flash out and managed to get some really good shots of some different things right there at the campsite. After a short wander out of camp looking for leopards or anything else, we'd heard a noise and seen a large Indian civet near the entrance to the Branbury Trail. I failed to get a good shot, but Dan had got a good photograph of it. However, it would return again that night. But after photographing an orange-breasted trogon and then an Asian-barred owlet, we had a visitation from another old friend.
Really?
The Indian civet came back, then some palm civets, and then finally something a lot more dangerous and scary, you'll see in the final shot. With photographing the palm civets and then spending a lot of time waiting for and then finding those gaur, 3 of them, right down in the river next to the campsite, I hadn't had much sleep. Dan had slept through everything.
Aye, aye. Morning, Princess.
It had been really good to see Dan again and just hang out there, although we only had one night at the campsite. And this time, as well, it was me who was preparing the coffee and the breakfast.
There we go.
I owe a lot to Dan, not just because he's a great friend, but also because he really introduced me or made me really feel something for Krachan and Ban Krang in particular. We'd been there quite a few times together. Now that he'd moved down south, obviously I didn't get to see him as much, and he never got to be there as much, but when he comes up, we always go there, and it's great. He's also got excellent eyes, and he knows a lot about both nature and outdoor survival. I've learnt so much from him. That morning we went up, hoped to see a leopard. Again we were thwarted, and apparently there had been one there just past Stream Crossing 3, soon after we left. Never mind. Now back to the present, where the night had been relatively quiet, until now.
Bit early for that, don't you think? How was it? 4:59. Oh well. There are worse sounds to wake up to.
I wasn't going to get any more sleep, and it was time to get up anyway, just after 5 o'clock. I figured I'd make some coffee, sit round there, and hopefully get a shot of the gibbon. I decided to put the flash on, use the torch to find it in the trees, see if I could get a shot. I had an idea as I looked up at the moon and thought about it being a waning gibbous. I thought, I really want to get a shot of that gibbon in the tree with the moon in the background, and I'll title it Waning Gibbon. I'm a genius. As soon as it began to get light enough for a decent shot of the gibbon completely silenced itself and disappeared. I wandered up to the top campsite where nobody really camps at all, but where there's a lovely view of the sky where I could see the sunrise and maybe start to see some birds coming in. There wasn't much yet. It was still early, but it was just lovely to be up there, looking up at the moon there, watching the colours on the trees as the sun started to peep over the top of the forest. Right, I'm going to head back up across the streams, the dry streams, and I'm gonna, unless something else comes up, I'm gonna perch myself, maybe get some video as well as some photos of those brown hornbills. Bird in the hand is worth two in the bush and all that. And of course that is the area where I encountered the elephant last night. It's probably further down here now though. Let's keep my eyes open for him. And of course there's always the possibility of an elusive leopard anywhere up there. There's only a couple of cars gone through, probably up to Penuntung, so hopefully there'll be nobody up here at all. See what today brings. After crossing the now non-existent stream crossing 2 and then taking it slowly up the next part where a leopard might be, I got to stream crossing 3 where the hornbill nest was. I made sure to have a careful look and listen in the jungle behind, just in case the elephant was there. Then I set up my tripod and waited. Did that give you as much of a fright as it gave me? The hornbills certainly seemed to find it amusing. Of a world total of 54 species of hornbill, 13 are recorded in Thailand, 7 of which can be seen in Krachan, ranging from the biggest, the great hornbill, right down to the smallest and most common, the oriental pied hornbill. Also found in Krachan, although much rarer, are the helmeted, wreathed, plain pouched, and white-crowned hornbills, as well as, of course, the ones we're looking at right now, the brown hornbill. There are 2 species of brown hornbill. Previously one species, the brown hornbill, and now they've been split between Austin's brown hornbill and Tikel's brown hornbill, which is this one, also known as the rusty-cheeked hornbill. The male and female are pretty similar, quite difficult to tell apart, but the male has sort of brighter rufous cheeks. Juveniles of both sexes resemble an adult male, and as you can see, they breed cooperatively here, helping each other, and I was surprised to see up to 4 adults feeding that 1 or possibly 2 chicks in the hole. man, that was good. Those brown hornbills. Unbelievably, there was two there. Came and were feeding, then a third one joined, and then it flew down and was feeding the chick in the nest in the hole, and then a fourth one arrived and was feeding it as well. 4 adults. Don't know how that works, but unless they're cohabiting. Both pairs have got their chicks in that one nest to save the rent. But maybe that's normal, that 4 hornbills feed one chick and all grouped together. Fascinating. There's something just made a bounding run behind me through there. I'd love to think it was a leopard, but I think they'd be quieter than that. Probably a samba deer. I'll stay here, wait for these hornbills to come back and see what else there is, but it's beautiful. Beautiful. My friend Mong later told me that indeed, yes, there were juveniles from previous years who were helping the mum and dad feed the new sibling. I left the hornbills and drove up to the silver broadbill nest. Although there was a lovely breeze, it was blisteringly hot, and despite waiting there for a while, there was no activity at the broadbill nest. I did, however, chance upon this green-billed malkoa, who put on quite a show, albeit difficult to photograph through the branches as it skulked and jumped around. This is worrying. It's just so dry. There's no water going down the river there. These broadbills still aren't back. There might be one. In the heat of the day, the silver broadbills were no show. However, just before I left, I was lucky enough to see one of my favourite birds. A bird where rarely the female is probably just as beautiful as the male. These are golden-fronted leaf birds. Really hard to see in amongst the leaves, especially in the bright light. Okay, there's the male. Possibly is a bit more handsome than his wife, but they're both beautiful. After getting these shots, I decided to head out. I had hardly any battery left, and I wanted to save some just in case I saw a leopard. I didn't, but I did see something else. No, not just this pond heron. No trip to Krachan would be complete without managing to see one of the bears. It was a great end to the trip. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope that one day you too will be able to get to Krachan and see its amazing wildlife.